How do you sell an AI agent in 2025 and 2026? So my name is leofery and I won the school games twice as well. I've made over 6 figures selling AI. Now, in this video, I will tell you how to position, market, as well as sell UI's solution. Now, I know you might come from a very technical point of view and you do not like to be in front of camera, neither do you like to be in front of people. You like the technical part. I'm the opposite. I am not technical at all, but I will try to teach you how you can start selling UI solutions so that you can make money the easiest way, right? So let's cover some basics. First, money is a value exchange. What does it mean? It means that if you want to be paid, the value you give someone needs to be greater than the money. Let me give you an example. When you buy an ice cream, you're willing to pay $3 or $5 for an ice cream. Now, if the ice cream would be $25, you would probably keep your money instead of having that value. So the ice cream is worth $5 to you. So you're willing to change and trade $5 for an ice cream, but not 25. Now, the higher the value, the more money people are going to be willing to pay for. Now, the question is, what is the value you can provide? There are two things. The value of the offer, which is the actual thing you give, which is the pen, right? And then there's the perceived value, right? So the pen, for example, could have been used by Jordan Belfort or Michael Johnson, right? Anyone who is important, let's put it like that, right? Now that pen would be worth 100 times more because of the perceived value. And especially that perceived value is just sales, right? How can I make this simple, stupid looking pen, which you might be willing to pay $3 for, how can I transform it into this pen being worth $1,000, right? LeBron James used this pen when signing his first NBA contract. Now that pen has so much more value, right? But here's how its value is created. Now, when we speak of just business, right? I know this looks super childish, but the goal is to keep it simple. How do you create value, especially on the actual value, like with this pen, right? You've maybe seen in the movie, try to sell me this pen, right? You first have a problem. Let's say you have a 60-year-old man. What kind of problem does he has right now that is making him feel unhappy, unsatisfied? What is the problem? And what is the desire that he has? What does he want? Does he want to be young again? Does he want to be healthy? What does he want in the future, right? And now the value is created when you become the gap between that. For example, giving you a stupid example. A 60-year-old man wants to be healthy again. So he's maybe obese and he wants to lose weight. So if you have pills for him to lose weight, he's probably going to be willing to buy it. If you have, for example, a program on which you're going to teach him how to eat properly in today's world, or how to eat properly without restricting himself, he's probably going to be interested. Right now we go into specific offers, but this is the problem you're going to solve. Right? The value is just what is the problem you're solving, and it's really, really important to figure out. Most of you say, yes, I have this AI agent that does this and this, right? This complicated NN8 workflow you spend hours working on and you're so proud about it. Great. But is it actually solving a problem? And now, whose problem is it solving? Because sometimes we go too quickly to assume what is the problem we're trying to solve, right? We're like, of course, real estate agent would love an AI agent that takes the call. Would it really love it? Have you asked real estate agent about that? So when you come to the aspect of sales, the most important thing you have to understand is nobody cares about you. They care about themselves. And if you want their money, you have to care about them. That's how simple it is. So you have to go into the head and question yourself, what do they want? You're like, well, I don't know who wants what. Well, that's the exact game we're playing here, which is finding someone with a problem that has the money to solve it and just needs you to show them the solution and they're ready to pay, right? To give you an example, if you offer a real estate agent Facebook ads, today he's not going to buy it, right? But if you offer him something which will probably alleviate some pain that he has, he's going to be interested. So this goes about niche selection, right? Finding who needs your product, or finding someone in pain. That is niche research, right? We're going to write it down here. And if you want, I will make a following video to explain to you, right? The most thing I will try to keep it here on this channel is to keep it super simple, because simple stuff you remember and you can internalize and put into practice. If I go and explain you sophisticated stuff right now, you're not going to understand anything. So we take step by step, right? So you do niche research to find someone who is in pain. That person, for example, is spending so much time organizing patient files, like a dentist is spending so much time organizing client files. If you can build an AI agent that will solve that problem, that person is going to be willing to pay money. Now the question is, how big is the problem you're solving? How big? If the problem you're solving is, for example, you're dying because of cancer, you will pay whatever money it takes to stop dying and basically get your health back. Now, compared to an ice cream, right? How bad do you really need that ice cream? Not that bad, right? The same thing with water. If you're trying to sell water in the desert, I will promise you, you can charge $25 for a little bottle of water. When you're selling it in Arctis, you can't even ask a pound for it or a dollar for it, because there's snow everywhere and you can just eat snow in the worst case, right? So that's what I mean is by the value itself of the offer. But the thing is, you have to understand, is not everything is valuable to anyone. Like I was saying with this pen, you might be willing to pay $1, $3 for this pen, right? But are you willing to pay $1,000 for this pen if I told you that Michael Jordan used it to sign his first shoe? Most of you would be like, nah, I just need a pen to write down. But if you have the money and you're collecting items and you find it fascinating and you love Michael Jordan, you're probably going to buy this for £1,000, right? Now, you see two different people. An important thing is that you find the right people to sell to. This is the biggest thing about sales, right? Now, we're not even speaking about the sales call itself, right? I love sales, right? And I'm more than happy to teach you so much more about sales. But before going on to a sales call, you're not even going to get sales calls / appointments or anyone being interested if you're not solving a problem for a specific person, all right? So how does your AI agent come into play? What is the problem you're solving, which is called service / product, plus the packaging makes it an offer, all right? Now, let me explain this. Now, if you say you have an N8 bot or a Make.com app bot, that is the product, the service, the SaaS software tool, whatever you want to call it, that you have, right? Now, if you just go to a real estate agent and you just tell them, hey, I have this bot, he's going to be like, great for you. What do I have out of it? And now the packaging comes back to what do they want? For example, when you go on and you pay attention to any ad, right? When it comes to, for example, holidays, or even a car, right? Pay attention to a car ad from Nissan or any other, it doesn't matter what car dealer, right? You will see, like, out of 90-second ad, 80 seconds, they will have nothing to do with a car, right? All right, let me try to show you this. All right, let's see what he's selling. Just pick the first one.
Fair. Told you he'd know the best spot.
Adventure bigger in the all-new Nissan.
All right. What did they associate it to that car? Did they told you we have a V6 engine? Well, they told you that one feature right here, right? that one feature which is looking rear, but they didn't told you what size of inch of a car, like how big the wheel is. They didn't tell you any of that. What did they tell you? What did they say to you? Hey, look, with that car, you have crazy adventures. You're outdoor. It's an outdoor car. You can go off-road. They're selling you the dream. Now, here's the thing. Is it my dream? Nah. Is it maybe your dream? Do you like to go and fish? If you don't like fishing, this ad is probably less going to be appealing to you. If you don't even like outdoor activities or the woods, you're not going to like it, right? But they are trying to sell to that specific person who lives on a range or in Canada somewhere in the forest and needs a car which does that job. So very, very important here to notice is they're not even saying how much horsepower it has, right? How long the car is. Nobody gives a fuck. I shouldn't be swearing. But what they do give their 2 cents about is what dream they're selling, all right? So this is the packaging. To give you a more concrete example, with this AI agent, you will save 25 hours a week of management tasks. Or with that bot, you will never ever miss any appointment and will triple your sales volume. I'm just getting top of my ass. But most importantly is figure out what do real estate agents want. They want to make more money with working less time, right? And you probably know that Alex Hormozy equation. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but there's some good parts to it, right? How can I solve this problem with the amount of pain they have? So how can I solve the pain for my unique way, right? So getting more clients without spending more time and having everything tracked easier, so it's easier for you to file taxes. Just give you an example. If that is a problem they will have, they're going to make money. And here's the thing. The big hard job is finding the equation. Once you have found something that they want and they're willing to pay for, you will make money. You will make money. You don't need to have a pretty face. You don't even need a good mic. You don't need anything. When you have something that people desire, right? When the value you have is greater than the money they possess, they're going to give you their money. Simple as that. For example, I have the skill and ability to sell. If you want to learn how to sell, great. You can check out my group. It's in the description, and I will teach you sales, right? Because I have something that you might want, is to get good at selling, right? And that's sales call. How do you get well at speaking? How do you set the frame? Those are some things I'm going to cover in the next couple of videos. Just make sure to give this a sub so you actually see them. Now, the second thing you need is having a great offer, and that's what we covered today. I help, and write down the sentence, and I want you to fill it out. I help XYZ business achieve XYZ goal without this pain, right? Now, if you have that, you have done 50% of the job. 50% of the job is just figuring out this. Not in your head, but actually what the people want, right? What do they want and what's something you can give?